Okay, let's bring in NBC's Vaughn Hilliard, who is driving, it sounds like. Okay, I'm glad you're not driving, but you're in the passenger seat in between Trump campaign events. You're going between Fort Dodge to Des Moines. So tell us, you've been through a few of these election cycles before. Claire was talking a little about the evangelical vote. That's definitely been a big change since 2016, certainly for Trump. Tell us what feels different to you this time around.
It's telling if we're talking about the evangelical vote. If you listen to some of the prayers, Jen, that the pastors deliver during the invocation at Trump's rallies, they sound so Trumpian in the way that it would have been unfathomable to have heard come out of the mouth of a preacher at a political event 8 years ago, using the words of, there's Orwellian tyranny that is taking over the United States. This idea that, that evil has come onto the United States, and it's Donald Trump, one pastor, referring to him as the second coming here, and a foreshadowing of what is to come if he gets back in the White House. This is, back in 2016, and I think there was 22% of evangelicals here, the caucus for Donald Trump. We're looking at in our NBC Des Moines Register poll, 51%. The other part is, look at who the stars of the Republican Party are today, who are out here on the road. We just left Fort Dodge. We thought it was important to be up here at one of the final Donald Trump events because it was the, if I may, the MAGA superstar shuttle that came to town about 2 hours north of Des Moines. It was Marjorie Taylor Greene. It was Matt Gaetz, Kari Lake, Jim Jordan, Byron Donalds, Billy Long, a cast of Trump loyalists who are frankly the most popular figures in the Republican Party today. And they were the ones delivering the closing message just hours before caucus opens. That is what is so compelling, and that is what has changed over these last 8 years.
I mean, it's such a change from the presidential campaigns I worked on, the last ones where we're running against Romney and McCain. It seems very quaint at this point in time. But Vaughn, we can see kind of in your back windows there how snowy and cold it is. We've all been obsessing about the weather, but it is an important question. Campaign have obviously canceled events. What is the expectation in terms of how the weather could play, and who could it hurt most here?
Right, we have sunny skies here today, and we have over the last 48 hours, but it has remained so deadly cold. A negative wind chill expected this evening of negative 35 that the snow itself is largely not melted. Here on the main highways, the snowplows have all but cleared the roads, but a lot of the side roads and through the smaller towns, even including medium-sized towns like Fort Dodge, there is still a layer of ice over most of the streets. And so that is really going to be the concern of just, especially for older folks, of being able to get in the car, make it to these caucus sites and walk through over black ice. Donald Trump often has said over the last days that his supporters will walk over broken glass, but will they walk over black ice? That's what we're going to have to look. The campaign is offering rides to their supporters if they call up. They believe that they have built up and contend they have built up an operation, unlike that of 8 years ago when it was sort of haphazard, folks just showing up to rallies. But in terms of actually activating those folks to come out and caucus, it's a different story. This time around, though, they believe they've identified a share of the Republican electorate here that will be able to give them a consequential win.